Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rance here with you alongside Tommy Chrysan. Sports Shorts today brought to you by LeBear's Casino. TK joining us from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, and I'm in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame studios and parts unknown. Well, a couple of big storylines today. Of course, we're going to talk LSU baseball. The Tigers lose last night 5-4 to Arkansas, strike out 17 times in that game offensively, but still had a chance to win. Tommy White at the plate, chance to tie it. You'll take that. Also, the Boston Celtics, can they do something that's very rarely done? They're down 3-0 to the Heat. They've won 2 in a row, and they've won it in dominant fashion. So the Celtics are making that series interesting. Meanwhile, Denver Nuggets are just chilling, resting up for the finals. There's a new fair catch rule in the NFL on kickoffs that has everybody a little bit baffled and wondering. We'll talk about that. LSU's women's basketball team wrapping up its visit this morning with the president at the White House. Remember that whole controversy after they beat Iowa in the finals where, you know, the first lady said they were going to invite both teams to the White House, and Angel Reese and LSU were offended. Well, it was just LSU at the White House today. And I'll tell you about how that reminds me of my visit to the White House. I went my freshman year back in 1991. LSU baseball, the only team, by the way, ever to visit the White House, and the president was the 1991 national championship team. In 2009, they went to Washington, but they did not meet with the president at the White House. Also, let's see, what else is happening in the world of sports? Baton Rouge, Rougarou. I mean, my goodness. The Rougarou season starts next Tuesday. 3-game series, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in Baton Rouge. Summer college, wood bat baseball. Think minor league baseball, but with college players, and a lot of fun for the family. The kids are going to have the best time of their life. And that's going to take place May 30th, next Tuesday. Rougarou season begins. Go to brrougarou.com to get the easiest, cheapest, best tickets in town. And if you can't join us, you can also watch the games on TCL TV. We'll tell you more about that next week. All right, let's bring in TK right now. First, let's go over to Hoover, talk a little LSU baseball, Tommy. LSU out-hits Arkansas. Arkansas only had 6 hits in the game. LSU had 11. They got Paul Skeens on the mound. They were a minus 175 favorite, but for the second time this year, Skeens, who didn't lose the first time, but for the second time this year, LSU loses to Arkansas.
Yeah, you know, Paul Skeens kind of showed that he's human. You know, he's a great pitcher, and according to his standards, he didn't have as much command as he would have probably liked to have had. And, and you give Arkansas a little credit finding a way to get the runs like they did. And Arkansas, the 2 lefties that threw for Arkansas, I mean, they carved up 17 LSU batters, although LSU did hit the ball. You know, Travinsky hit it, White hit it, but they weren't able to get it done. But like you said in the opening monologue, Ronnie, they had a chance in the 9th with Tommy White at the plate. You know, I mean, you're okay with that if you're an LSU fan or if you're Jay Johnson, but it didn't work. And now they got to play at 3:00 today against Texas A&M, who will be playing their 4th straight day because they played in the Tuesday round, and now they're going to play in their 4th straight day. Jim Schlossnagel's been a lot of fun when they put the microphone on him, and I saw him on the set with Todd Walker and David DeLucci after one of the games. I met him when he was at Tulane a couple of times, and I always thought he was a good guy. He's funny. He's a funny guy.
Look, a couple of things. One, I go back to Floyd yesterday. There was a lot of talk, and Jay, what's that?
You go back to Skeens yesterday.
Go back to Skeens yesterday. There's a lot of talk that he was at around a 70 pitch count, that we're not going to let him go to 110, 120, anything like that, that he was around a 70 pitch count yesterday for the game. And they ended up letting him go 88. He threw 39 pitches in the 4th inning. I think they kept they were obviously trying to get him out of the inning, and you don't want to let him finish the inning. And so he went beyond kind of their plan. I think this, Tommy. I think that when you go into a game with a different mindset than what you normally do, meaning that, like, let's say you've been a closer all season, and then it's the playoffs, now we're going to start you. Or the other way around. Now you're a starter every year, but it's the playoffs. Now we're going to bring you out of the bullpen. It's something completely different than what you used to. In Skeens' situation, there's this hey, we want to get you some work. We want to get you a start. It's not that important. We're not going to overstretch you. You know what? I think it's hard to manage that, as opposed to, hey, it's 7 days. You throw every 7 days. You take the ball. You go to 120, wherever that lands. We're going to win the game. And you just go, all out for 120 pitches, as opposed to, I don't know, how many pitches should we throw him, coach? What's the agent think? What's the parent? Let's manage this. It's not that important. Let's save him for the postseason. And I think that had an effect. I just do. Because he hit 2 batters and he walked 2 batters in 3 2/3 innings. He hadn't done that in a month, and I think it has an effect.
Yeah, I would agree with you that, when you change with the routine, baseball is a routine, a repetition thing. You change that, and it could get between the ears and mess with a guy. Now, here's the other thing. All right, Sunday night at 7:30 on the bottom line of ESPN, they're going to list the 16 regional sites. LSU is going to be on that list. Baton Rouge is going to be on that list. Monday morning at 11, they are going to, lay out the national seeds and who's playing who. And LSU is going to be, a host, and they're going to host the Super Regional. They're going to be a national seed. So is that why you changed the way you were going about it? And then, I don't know. The other thing about yesterday's game, Riley Cooper had his best outing as an LSU Tiger. Okay? Yep. I mean, he was spot on. And even when he missed the strike zone, he just barely missed it. And you know me, that's always the key to me. When you miss, or you're missing by a little bit, or you're missing all over the place. He had his best outing as an LSU Tiger. That's got to make Tiger fans feel good for going forward. Now, he threw a lot of pitches. I don't think he'll throw today at all, no matter what. So, and if they would win and play Saturday, he might not be ready for that either. Maybe a couple of guys on Sunday if they're in the championship game. But, you got to worry about today. A&M's playing their 4th straight game. Their pitching staff is spent a little bit. I'll go out on a limb. It's going to be both teams could end up with 10 runs today, unless Ty Floyd steps it up.
As far as LSU, the 2 big lefties, Ackenhausen and Cooper, both had 2 of their better outings this year, both coming out of the bullpen and did very, very well. So that was definitely a good sign. I mean, look, which is more important, really? Is it that Skeens throw well yesterday and Cooper throw bad, or is it more important for Cooper to throw well and Skeens throw bad? I'll take Cooper throwing well, because we know what Skeens is going to give you 90% of the time. We don't know what Cooper's going to give you. So the fact that Cooper had the best outing since he's been in Baton Rouge is probably a bigger, better deal than if it gone the other way and Skeens had shoved for 5 innings and then all of a sudden Cooper gives it up.
Well, the 2 things that came out of yesterday were Travinsky with the 4 hits and Cooper with his best outing in the purple and gold. And, now, and going back to Skeens, he's probably not going to throw the next Saturday unless it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday region. No, it's not going to be. It's either going to start Friday. So he's not going to throw against the 4 seed, I would think. I would think they throw him against the 2 seed. But it's college baseball playoff time, all the conference tournaments, the Sun Belt, Southland, everything's going on. And can't forget about our friends at Delgado, right, Ronnie?
Yeah, the Delgado Dolphins doing something, trying to accomplish something they've never done before, and that's win a national championship. Junior college baseball in Louisiana is very good. Obviously, you've got 2 different divisions. You got Division I and you got Division II. LSU Eunice has made quite a name for themselves over the years, winning national championships at the Division II level. And that's sort of like the equivalent of, division, the 4A high school baseball versus 5A high school baseball, that kind of thing, right? It comes to number, size of the schools and all that kind of stuff. And so they've got a great program and they're doing their thing. Well, the big boy level Division I, if you will, that's been in Grand Junction, Colorado for many, many, many years is where Delgado plays. And Delgado has been a legendary baseball program for many, many years down in New Orleans. Rag Sherman was the coach forever. His son Joe Sherman's been there since the late 80s as the head coach. And they've been to the College World Series now 6 times. This will be their 6th trip. They play tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. And do we have Joe with us?
No, waiting on him to jump in. It should be any minute.
Okay, well, let me know.
Rags went to the World Series once. This is Joe's 5th trip. A little story about Delgado while we wait for Joe. The first time they were ever on television you were the spearhead of putting me in touch with Joe, who I've known all my life. And it worked out after Katrina. They went on Pelican Sports TV, where some of the Rougarou games will be this summer. We'll tell you more about that. So, first time they were ever televised, it was Ken Trahan and I on the call. And that's like 17, 18 years ago.
So we're actually gonna go to Grand Junction, Colorado here in just a minute, and Joe Sherman is going to join us. Actually, they're working out this morning, have a practice. And for those that don't know anything about the Junior College World Series in Grand Junction, Colorado, it is literally like what Rosenblatt and Omaha was, 30, 40 years ago. They'll have big crowds, for some of their big games, they'll have 10,000 plus people. The community embraces the fact that they are the host site for the Junior College World Series forever. It's like what Rosenblatt and Omaha were, and so it's a big deal. And Joe's a beloved figure in the state of Louisiana. People really enjoy and love Joe Sherman and the Sherman family. They do such a great job. So it'd be awesome. They haven't had a lot of success. I think I'm going to ask Joe. I think they've only won like one game or something like that up there. It's been a strange deal, but for a winning program, for a program that's produced so many great players, you think back to, over the years, LSU and Joe Sherman and Delgado have had quite a good relationship with a lot of good players coming up this way. So we'll talk to him whenever he jumps on the air here in just a minute. I want to get back to SEC tournament action for just a sec. I don't know that this tournament is going to benefit anybody drastically, but the LSU's opponent today, Texas A&M, could potentially be one of those teams. I mean, when you're a team like Texas A&M and you're trying to solidify your shot, in the tournament, but also maybe somehow can they even get into the conversation of hosting, this is where, and get on a roll. I mean, Texas A&M was a team that was probably a top 4 team, maybe top 5 team in the preseason to go to the College World Series and win it, but yet they haven't had the kind of year they expected. But all of a sudden, here they are playing good.
Yeah, it's like you said, people expected more out of them this year than what they did, but they're still an SEC team with a great coaching staff. Nolan Kane, the former LSU Tiger, he's a part of that staff with Jim Schlossnagle. So, they're playing their 4th game in a row today. It's probably more important to them than LSU to get a W today, because if LSU loses today, they'll be home tonight. So, we'll just have to see. 3:00 start, and it will start on time. There's no game prior to it. And last time I checked, the weather forecast is fine. So you should have 3:00 or just a couple of minutes after 3 with the first pitch. And again, I didn't see this in writing, but it's got to be. You got to assume it's Ty Floyd on the bump for LSU.
Ty Floyd, look, LSU really is going to accomplish everything they want in this tournament. There's Coach Joe right now. We go back to him in the beautiful skies of Grand Junction, Colorado. The blue.
Guys, I'm going to walk over here and show y'all something. This is better than the World Series, I think. We give y'all a little tour while I'm walking around watching BP.
So, Coach, why you getting into position? This is the 6th trip, right, for you guys?
That's right. 6th trip, my 5th time, Ronnie, and I learn a little more every time I come up here. And finally, I think I might know what I'm doing after 5 trips.
Hopefully. Now, you guys on the 5 previous trips, 1, 2 wins. How many wins are we talking about?
Why you had to ask that, Ronnie? I was having a great morning until. I mean, come on. Can't we celebrate the fact that we're here? No, we've won one game since I've been coming up here, Ronnie.
Well, what do we know about your opponent tomorrow, by the way?
Well, so they play in a very tough western side of Texas, I mean, the McClendons of the world, and those guys are their typical rival. But let me show you this real quick. Look at that.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's the backdrop of our BP. So, they've won 50 games. They got a great program, a great facility. This is their first trip to the World Series. So I guess we got that going for us. But they got a left-hander named Rodriguez who committed and I think signed with Ole Miss, who will face. He's 88-91, they tell me, with a wipeout slider. So, we got all kind of good news going for us.
Who do you have going for you? Joe, you there?
And we're going to throw Carson. Carson's a young man out of North Shore High School who's been really our glue for a long time. I mean, he's been our number one, and we go with Olivier on game 2, and then we've been using numerous guys on game 3, either O'Neill or Tom. The O'Neill kid's the MVP in the state of Louisiana last year for John Curtis.
Tell me about Carson. What is he? Is he a freshman, sophomore?
Carson's a sophomore who signed with Sanford. He committed to Sanford early in the year. Right-handed pitcher. He's 86 to 88. Real good slider. Real great straight change, and does a real good job hitting his spots. He's a strike thrower. I think he's walked probably 13 guys all year long. So we're looking for a guy that fills the zone. You know, up here you can't give extra outs. I mean, this is good for your golf game, guys. When you retire, move to Colorado, you hit it a lot further up there.
What I'm going to ask you, Joe, what's it like? I told people Grand Junction is similar to like Rosenblatt Stadium maybe 40 years ago, and you know, what are the crowds like there? Tell me about the experience from the player and the coach standpoint.
Well, we've played in this 9 a.m. game. By the way, it's 9 a.m. up here, 10 a.m. New Orleans time. Twice of the 5 years that I've been here, and we've played in the feature game. Believe it or not, two of the 5 times I've been here. There'll be probably 8,000 people in the stadium at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's phenomenal. This community really backs it, just like your comparison to Rosenblatt. I have never been to Rosenblatt, believe it or not, guys. I've always told myself that I wasn't going to go until I brought my own team. So I guess sooner or later when I retire, I'll get up there. But it's always been a goal of mine to bring my own club up there. It's been a goal of mine to come here. You know, we've been able to do good things. But, this is the mecca of college baseball.
Give us a couple of players to watch offensively. I know, you know, we're familiar with Tommy and I with Brock Slayton, who played for the Baton Rouge Rougarou last summer, and man, he has had a fantastic year. I know he signed with Tulane, but tell us about some other guys.
Yeah, so you know, we're led offensively by numbers by the O'Neill kid from John Curtis. He's our second base, hit like 398. But to be quite honest with you, the blood and guts of our lineup is our right fielder, Josh Alexander. He's the son of Gerald Alexander, former big leaguer that played at Tulane. Our catcher, JT Singletary, who's been nails for me for 3 years because of COVID. We have another young man that signed with UL, Josh Alexander, and Broussard, our center fielder, Brian Broussard, have signed with ULL, and will be there. You know, they're probably outfielders next year. Those are our 1, 2, 3 hole hitters. And Slayton's been unreal. I mean, he had a turn here for us. I mean, he brought some power to our game. He brought an average to our game. He's been a big part of our offense. He bats in our 4 hole. Our 5 hole is a young man from Katy, Texas. One of the only couple out-of-town guys we got on our club, Jonathan Farabis, who hits for an average. He's a 6'5" kid who's got a lot of upside. He's going to be a very recruited kid. You know, we got the young man from Rummel High School. Tyler Cook plays left. Kate Frazier, on a kid that started for me for 2 years from St. Charles Catholic, plays third. And a kid, this is really the story of the year for us. Josh Kaufman, our shortstop. We had our starting shortstop got in a car wreck 5 days into practice. It broke his femur in half. Christian Westcott. So 5 days after we started practice, we didn't know who our shortstop was going to be. And I took Kaufman from second, moved him to short, and he's been phenomenal offensively and defensively for us. It really is the reason we're here.
For those that always ask and wonder, and I know you probably get this a good bit, explain if you can in layman's terms, Division I versus Division II junior college baseball. I know in the state of Louisiana, people have heard about LSU Eunice having a lot of success over the years, and Division II. What is the difference?
So the difference is scholarship money. So how much money? With books from the board. With books. So LSU Eunice, because of their makeup, they their scholarship allotment. Obviously, that's a little different.
Coach, you're cutting out on us a little bit. Can you move to a different different spot maybe or something there? See if maybe the
cell tower to go to, Ronnie. Let me see if I can get an Uber first.
That's a little better right there,
better.
Coach. Where
So the difference is the World Series at the Division II level is played in Oklahoma. Our World Series up. Obviously, the challenge is about to stay both, but it's fine.
yeah. Well, you're starting to cut out a little bit there, Coach. We're going to wrap it up right here and say, hey, Joe, thank you so much, man, for joining us. We'll be watching tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Time, and let's hopefully this is the year, Coach.
All right, hey TK, we come a long way from the time we used to do those shows on old Pelican Broadcasting.
Me and Ronnie talked about that the first time you guys were ever on TV. Ronnie put you and I in a room. We met and we put you guys on TV shortly after Katrina. And I wish y'all nothing but the best this weekend. Go play your best and have fun.
All right, Joe. Thank you so much, man. All right, Joe Sherman, the head coach of the Delgado Dolphins, in the College World Series for the 6th time in program history, looking for that first elusive championship. And it would be a great story. He's a Hall of Fame.
How about they win a game or two? Then we'll worry about the championship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, Coach, I mean, he's only been there. This is the 6th time in program history that they've been to the World Series. And I know Delgado baseball's been around, 50 years probably.
It was started with his father, Rag Sherman, was a baseball coach at Loyola in New Orleans. Loyola dropped sports, basketball and baseball. They didn't have football. And he went to somebody at Delgado and said, hey, I want to start a program.
Right.
And so he started the baseball program. Did I tell you the story why they're called the Dolphins?
No.
Okay, so in 72 or 73, they start the baseball program, and they have a name the team contest among all the students at Delgado. The Miami Dolphins that just went 17-0, won the Super Bowl, so that's why they're the Delgado. All the students.
Funny.
That was the buzz name at the time, and that's what got voted in. That's why they're the Delgado Dolphins, because I don't think there's a lot of Dolphins in the greater New Orleans area.
That's pretty funny. I'll have to tell Nat Moore that story, the former Miami Dolphin, who's a good friend of mine.
Tell that story. That was good stuff. So
I always was wondering that because I never saw the elusive Dolphins swimming through Lake Pontchartrain.
Well, Ronnie, and they play at Kirsch Rooney Stadium, Bragg Sherman Field. Henry Aaron hit a home run in an exhibition game on that field. Joe DiMaggio played on that field. And then the long list of great baseball players from New Orleans, from Will Clark to Rusty Staub, and I could go on and on forever. But it was always something as a kid you wanted to play at Kirsch Rooney. And they played tons of high school games, tons of Legion games, the Nord All-American League. I mean, if you played baseball in New Orleans, you probably at some point played at least one game at Kirsch Rooney. I'm lucky enough to have played there more than a few times. It's a great park, and they're getting a brand new facility, locker room, offices, all that right behind the third base dugout. That should be done soon. So it's given many a kid a chance to keep playing a great game of baseball and go to school and all that stuff. And when Joe Sherman's not the coach, that's going to be a big thing.
Tommy, I'm going to get out of here. You can tell us about Tremonti's Meat and Seafood on the way out, and then tune in tomorrow morning. TK and I will be on Sports Shorts Radio from 10 to noon on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. We'll be live at LeBear's Casino in the Barstool Sportsbook. Come by, have lunch with us. We'll be there from 10 to noon. We'll talk a lot more about college baseball, the new NFL, Fair Catch, NBA, and a whole lot more.
One other thing real quick, Ronnie. We do this for our fans. Monday, Court Street Cafe is closed. So if we're going to do a show, but they're doing the picking thing at 11, do we want to go Tuesday morning, but you got your sponsored luncheon?
No, we'll do Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning, and we can talk all about the host sites and the seedings and who's coming where and when they start and all that stuff.
We'll do Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. Tuesday morning,
9 a.m. Tuesday morning. And don't forget, tomorrow we're at the Barstool Sportsbook, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And as always, Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Still about a week or so of boiled crawfish, live crawfish, very near the end of that season. Lunch special today is fried catfish topped with crawfish etouffee. You can get the po' boys. You got all the whiskey and the wine for the weekend. Memorial Day weekend. Chairman's Reserve steaks. They got pork, chicken, sausage, 20 different flavors of sausage you can throw on the grill for Memorial Day weekend. It's all at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge, right down the street from Parkview Baptist Church and School. We want you to stop by Tremonti's. It will be open tomorrow, closed Sunday and Monday. But Tremonti's.com. Go to Tremonti's.com or connect on Facebook and Instagram. Once again, tomorrow morning, Sports Shorts Radio, 10 a.m. to 12 noon on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Go to Rougarou.com. Get your tickets and your merchandise. Season starts Tuesday night. Pete Goldsby Field, the Acadiana Cane Cutters, or the defending Texas Collegiate League champs, will be the opponent Tuesday night. First pitch is at 7 o'clock. On behalf of everybody here at Tremonti's, Ronnie Rance, all our great sponsors, like and share this video. That's very important. You like and share this video. Radio tomorrow, Sports Shorts Daily again Tuesday. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, everyone.